Dear students, good morning. Let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 13th April 2018. The first article, No Place for Young Girls. So here we are talking about Kathua and Unnao incidents. So these are the gruesome rape incidents. In Kathua, an young child of 8 years was raped and murdered. Giving a communal color to this rape incident is again shows the degradation of the value system in our society. And second, coming to Unnao incident, the power to the justice is a classical example over here. So justice is denied because you are powerless. So the justice need to be there for everyone, irrespective of their caste, class, etc. The rule of law has to treat everyone equal in the eyes of the law. So here, the reforms of the criminal justice system are very important to us. So in India, criminal investigation and law and order maintenance are not separate from each other. And criminal investigation is also comes under the political supervision. So that's why the police function by and large is influenced by the politics of the day. This makes the conviction rate and quality of investigation very low. So in this scenario, if you take the American system, an attorney system exists, and the Department of Justice is totally independent from executive. If executive has to interfere with the Department of Justice, he has to risk his job. This is what exactly has happened with FBI director, Mr. Comey, when Trump tried to influence him. So, in Indian scenario, there is a clear necessity that the criminal justice system has to become independent from executive influence. And criminal investigation has to be separated from law and order, and it has to be independently managed. Either you talk about Soli Sorabji Committee, Second Administrative Reforms Commission, everyone has suggested for the same. Why we should trust science? So what is science? Science is about understanding of nature through an organized method. What is this organized method? Across various events, we try to find a logic and reason and connection between these events, and we make an hypothesis, and we put this hypothesis to a test, and we try to verify it through various mathematical equations. So it means reason, logic, rationality, these provide for science, a basis for science. So if we are risking this by stating one or the other faith, or for economical or ideological reasons, then we risk failure. That is what is the essence of this article is. Regional discontent. This is about Finance Commission. You know the Finance Commission's terms of reference are given by the union government. So the 15th Finance Commission in this case, the fiscal management, the budgetary management, and the second is populist programs, and performance indices, etc., are being referred to the Finance Commission. What the states argue is the union is trying to influence the states based on its priorities and the ideology. And second, in the horizontal devolution of the funds across the states, the criteria, if you take 14th Finance Commission, around 27.5% of criteria was given to population. And 13th Finance Commission, 25% was given to population size. In this 27.5, 17.5 is based on 1971 census, and then remaining 10% based on 2011 census. Already the southern states are feeling that they have lost revenue to the tune of 6 to 7,000 crore rupees because of taking of 2011 census into consideration. So, in 15th Finance Commission, they stated that they are going to take 2011 population census into consideration. Obviously, the Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, they are going to lose to the tune of 20 to 25,000 crore rupees, and that is going to be painful to them. So in this scenario, they argue that for the better development and population stabilization they have achieved, they are being punished for. They are able to achieve the replacement level of total fertility rate to 2.1. And today, they have higher dependency ratio with old age population, and they need more resources to support them. In these circumstances, for the development they have achieved, they are being penalized. That is what is this article, this picture is about. Can Ayushman Bharat make for a healthier India? So when we talk about this Ayushman Bharat, there are two components to it. Health and wellness center, and then an insurance scheme. So the primary healthcare centers, they will be redesigned as health and wellness centers, and the number of diseases they can screen for, treat for, are going to be increased. It means health and wellness centers are going to focus more on preventive and promotive care. And on the other side, we have the insurance. So with regard to insurance, what we talk about is 10 crore families are going to provided with insurance coverage up to 5 lakh rupees per annum. So that's going to be a huge sum over here. So first thing, there are no finances allocated. The second thing, it is going to talk about only secondary and tertiary care, but not about the primary care. And out of pocket expenditure is not going to be decreased because outpatient care is not being covered in this. And the third thing is, if we more and more prioritize the private sector healthcare, it is going to replace the existing hospitals under the government, and the cost of healthcare is bound to increase. India as a country cannot afford to have higher costs of healthcare. And finally, the finances which are being given to these people, to these programs, are very meager with the stated objectives are compared. And after that, access is an important to improve the healthcare, to bring in universal healthcare. So this access is not going to be improved with private healthcare because most of these centers are located in urban areas. So the rural and urban divide with regard to healthcare delivery is going to continue further. Now, Center Rejigs Banks Boards Bureau. So this Banks Board Bureau is given the responsibility to recommend appointments to higher positions, board level positions in the public sector banks. Now, Mr. Vinod Rai, who was the former CAG, was the chairman of this and is going to be succeeded by Mr. Rajiv Kumar. So in these circumstances, can former CAG take up a position under the government or not? It has become a big question. Here Article 148 subclause 4 clearly states that CAG cannot take any office under the government after his retirement. Then the Vinod Rai taking this position has come for question because the post-retirement postings can be an allurement for these constitutional dignitaries to do favors or unfavors to a particular government. IRNSS-I to enrich navigation fleet. You know that NAVIC is India's regional navigation satellite, and this NAVIC constellation is going to be finished with IRNSS-I. You know 1A is failed for the reason that the atomic clocks stopped working there. And after that, the PSLV C-39 it has sent 1H and it also did not work. So now IRNSS-I is going to complete this particular constellation. And NBFCs tighten grip as promoters pledge shares. So you know non-banking finance companies, so these are becoming the favorites for various companies to access different forms of the loans as banks have different norms and also they are not ready to loan now because of the stress of NPAs. So these are pledging their shares to the NBFCs and they are taking the loans. So what will happen is, if any fall in the stock market happens, immediately these mutual funds etc. they are going to sell off their shares, and this is going to be a high risky behavior even for the companies. That's what this article states. Supreme Court's life and existence under threat, Justice Kurian. What the Justice Kurian states is, though Collegium has recommended for the appointment of 2 judges, Indu Malhotra and Uttarakhand Chief Justice Mr. K.M. Joseph, the center did not make any decision. Now it means the center is trying to show that it enjoys the veto power on the judicial appointments. If any judge who do not follow into the line of the executive, probably he will not get the due promotion he deserves. Is that the message the center is trying to send? Is that not compromising the independence of judiciary? This is what Justice Kurian Joseph is talking about. WHO directives call for support for breastfeeding. So there are 10 important guidelines created over here by WHO and UNICEF. In this, within the birth, half an hour of the birth, a child has to breastfeed, and in the first 6 months, only feeding for the child has to be from the mother. So it decreases its susceptibility for various infections, because mother's milk consists of various immunoglobulins, that is antibodies, that will be transferred to the child and protects the child against various infections. Finally, I gave you the notes which will be available to you at lawx.in/civilsprep. Thank you very much.